Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today's Thursday, May 18th. It is 6:19 right now. Market's going to open in about 11 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just got a couple of things here to update and we should be good to go. All right. Good. A couple more things here to update. I think we should be solid. All right, perfect. Looks like we are good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. And we should be good. All right, sending out the link now. All right. All right, guys. Morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, May 18th. It is 6:21 right now. Market's going to open in about 9 minutes. So I'll get a few moments for people to continue joining in, and then we'll get started with our analysis shortly. See who's here so far. Morning, Akash. Morning, Surin. Morning, CJ. Morning, D. Morning, everybody. I'm going to start off by marking up news price. So I think there was news today at 5:30. So today at 5:30, there was unemployment claims, Philly manufacturing index, and the Fed speaking at 6. So about 5:30, some news. Today, I'm going to mark that up right here. Let's make sure this is a clean chart. All right, everything's clean there. Let's go and mark this up. All right, 5:30. Right there. Going down to the next news for today, we have the Fed speaking at 6:30. So you want to be a little careful. Fed bar speaking at 6:30. And then at 7 o'clock, we have existing home sales, CB leading index. Fed member Logan speaking. Today's Fed day, basically. There's a lot of people speaking today. Fed Jefferson, Fed bar, Fed Logan. And there may be some more later. But other than that, there's a natural gas storage at 7:30. So there's news coming up at 7 and 7:30. I'm going to mark that up on the chart over here. I typically use a red line, but I think the blue line is fine. Any blue line there is going to mark up news, so that you're aware. So I got news marked up right there. I'm going to wait for a few more people to join in, and I'm going to mark up liquidity zone so that people have the opportunity to have that available. Hey, Will, how's it going? Morning. Morning, Glenn. Morning, AR. Morning, Dan. Morning, Ruin. Morning, Martha. Morning, Andrew. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Karen. Morning, guys. Morning, Maria. All right, looks like majority of you guys are here so far. So I've marked up news price over here, upcoming news price. I've marked up opening price and 8 o'clock right there. Over here on this chart, I'm going to go ahead and mark up the areas of liquidity. Hey, T, how's it going? Morning. Morning, William. Morning, guys. All right, so I'm going to start off with the daily time frame. Let's start off with this one here. I'm going to go ahead and mark up the untested high lows. So we have one right there, right there, there, right there, and right there. Again, we have one right there, 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 and there. And you guys will see a lot of these zones that I mark up right now are the same ones from yesterday, especially in the higher time frames, because they haven't been tested. You know, they're so far away that they're probably not going to be tested anytime soon. but I do just mark them up for visualization purposes so that you guys do understand that there is liquidity sitting on certain areas of the chart. This is just going to show you that, if there's a lot of liquidity sitting in one area, price is going to have to knock out that liquidity at some point, right? That's why I don't really swing trade, because if you swing trade, I mean, you can get wiped out pretty easily, especially in this type of market where the market's super choppy. So not to say that swing trading doesn't work, but it is very risky during this type of market condition. It's just very choppy. You guys can see all these big random spikes. So it gives, it causes a lot of people to get possibly kicked out of a trade sometimes. All right. Looks like pretty much almost good to go. $15 and the 10. All right, so looking at where price is currently at, guys, there's a lot of, I mean, the liquidity is pretty far off. I don't know if we're going to get a liquidity push today. I'm going to show you guys real quick. It's not extremely far off, but it is pretty far off. So we have liquidity up here. It's about 1,780 pips away. That's a pretty far push. The downwards liquidity is even farther. So from here, yeah, it's about 2,320 pips. So liquidity is very far from where price is currently at. So not sure if we'll get an entry here. We might not. I mean, who really knows? But let me go to this 10-minute real quick. So here's the thing. If this 10-minute right here establishes as liquidity, it hasn't established yet. Here's the thing that you guys got to keep in mind. This hasn't established yet because there's only been 2 candles that have passed since the low here has been, pretty much marked up. So this here might be an area of liquidity, but if it doesn't, if price pushes down past this a little too early, then this here is going to get pushed down further, and this is no longer going to be a lower low type level. So I'm just going to mark it up here. I will put a note there just so that just so that we're aware. So it's a check 10-minute time frame. Liquidity. All right, so I'm leave that right there so that we can check that, because it is very close to where price is currently at. So I'm not sure if this is going to establish or not. So I'm not going to necessarily jump onto that super quickly. Or if I do jump onto it, I'll probably do it for only 100 pips, guys, because this is a pretty big, I mean, it's got a lot of space in between, and it's a little too close right now. So looking at where price is currently at, it's about 400 pips. So if this gets hit before, a little too early, then this here's not going to be considered a, area of liquidity, of course. So we'll play by ear and we'll see what we can get. This here, 5-minute. I mean, it's been established on the 5. It's just not established on the 10 yet. Just want to be a little careful with that type of entry, especially when price is coming down. Possibly if I do take it, maybe take it for just 100 pips, not a whole 300. But we'll have to see how the market looks like on open. So, all right, guys, market is opening in about 2 minutes. Thanks, Kenny, for this link here. Kenny just sent me this link. It's for the House Financial Services Committee, entitled putting the stable in the stable coins. All right, some stable coin news over here. Thanks to Kenny for the link. But all right, let's take a look at the fundamentals real quick. Fundamentals are currently negative 84 points pre-market. Retail sentiment right here is currently neutral right now, 54% short. And the technicals over here are currently, so the lower time frames are bearish. You can see prices below the pivots, trend meters red, pivots are angling down. Over here on the higher time frames, price is currently neutral for the most part. Price is in between the pivots. So there's not really much of an overall bias today. It's somewhat bearish, but it's not very strong. So we'll see what happens here on open. As I mentioned, this right here is not a strong area of liquidity. We have to wait for this to establish. Once it establishes, we can use it as an area of liquidity, but at the moment we cannot use it right now specifically. Thanks, Andrew. Andrew did the math. He said price difference between TradingView and MT4 is about 80 points. So good to know. Thanks, Andrew, for checking that. Hey, Saturday morning. All right, let's see where price ends up going. So price isn't really going anywhere. Check back on that 10. All right, so this level right here might be fine. If price continues to move along and doesn't actually touch it anytime soon, then this level might be fine for an area of liquidity. Just going back to the 10-minute over here, it looks like about 1, 2, 3, only 3 candles have passed, so it's not exactly a strong confirmation yet. You want to make sure like 4 or 5 candles have passed. So if we get to like 7 o'clock and this area hasn't been touched yet, then this here would be confirmed as an area of liquidity. Volatility right now is super low though, so see if that area gets hit. Not yet. Might. All right, so price pretty much just bounced around the area. The volatility right now is actually really, really slow. This may be a possible high-low momentum scalp, as you guys can see over here. We do have a higher high. But we do need that sell signal. It's kind of tricky right now as price keeps bouncing back and forth. It's not really any solid movement right now. As you can see, price is actually in a range right now. So let me mark this up real quick. It's easier to see here on the clean chart. Price is just in a range right now within this tight area. So it's a little bit difficult to decipher, if this here is going to actually close and whatnot. So you need a sell signal here. If the sell signal closes, technically a high-low momentum scalp. But again, as I mentioned before, guys, you guys want to make sure that you're actually, waiting for the candle to close, because these candles here just keep moving back and forth. The sell signal can easily disappear in like the last couple of seconds. So if you are looking to take this high-low momentum scalp right here, just make sure that you're waiting for the candle to close. That's the key thing to look out for there. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to close here. No, I didn't put a sell stop plan because we haven't established it yet. So as I mentioned before, guys, you have to check it first because it hasn't established. If it's established, then I'll put a sell stop, but it's not established yet. So there's we haven't confirmed that it's not going to disappear if price touches it. Going back to the 10-minute over here, it hasn't, not enough time's passed yet, right? So I'm not going to be able to confirm this. There's about 6 minutes left on this candle. If this candle closes and we have a high right there, so this is where it'll confirm. If the candle closes in the next 6 minutes and we have a high right here and price doesn't push up any higher, then this can be the established low. At that point, then maybe I can put a sell stop, but at the moment it hasn't established yet. So until it establishes, you're not going to put anything there because it's not established as the low yet. So I will if it establishes, but at the moment, not yet. Possibly. I don't want to say for sure, but possibly. Okay, so we currently have a higher high right here. We now have a new low here on the 1 minute. In order for us to have a high-low momentum sell entry, we would need price actually breaking close past this level right here. Because if not, there's going to be a high-low in between the higher high. So if this here closes with a sell signal and it's not below this level right here, it's not going to be established as an official entry because there can't be a high-low in between. So I'm probably going to hold off on this for a high-low momentum scalp. I don't think price is going to push down that low. What I'm going to do here first is I'm going to go and identify the price difference right now. So currently price is 33,400 minus 33,118. It's about 82 points right now. So just on point with Andrew's math, 33,391 minus 33,309. Yeah, 82 points. So it looks like 82 points is the price differential right now between TradingView and FTMO. So let's go back to this area here. So that's about 4 minutes left on this candle for the 10 minutes. So until that ends up, closing, not going to have anything here yet. Yeah, Vince said candle touched pivot 2 already. Yeah, price already broke and closed below it. So there's not going to be any entry here for a high level momentum scalp. Thanks for confirming that, Vince. Nick is asking, what is the number for the above liquidity? It's 33,564. This is the TradingView price. 33,564. It's very far away. It's like 200 pips or 2,000 pips. It's like way too far. So I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't even pay attention to that number. At least not yet, unless price gets like higher to this area up here. It's just way too far. The closest area is going to be down here. So we just need this candle to close. Basically, I need this candle to close. And if price comes back down further, then great. This is going to be established as a liquidity because we have a high low in between. So at that point, this here cannot disappear, right? Once it's established and there's new high, there's a high, low, high, low, high, low. There can't be two highs or two lows. There's going to be a high, low, high, low. So we got about 3 minutes here. If this candle closes in the next 3 minutes, then fine, we can start establishing this as liquidity. But at the moment, there's just nothing here right now. Yeah, might as well mark it, Nick. Just go to the 10-minute time frame and see what's the what's the high point. That's going to be the same price. So if you guys want to mark up liquidity on your MT4, just go to the same candle. Like go to wherever the candle is located on TradingView, but on MT4, and then you can mark it up from there. Yeah, no, Nick said he can't see with my face. Yeah, I wish I could move that zoom thing of my face, but unfortunately I can't. I don't even see my face on my computer. You guys see it on the live stream, but on my computer, my thing's completely clear. I have no picture of myself or video of myself anywhere on the screen. All right, so we got, let's see. We got about 2 minutes left on this candle. Not very much volatility. Everything's kind of just moving a little slow at the moment, as you guys can see. There's nothing for us to take. Price is going back and forth. Here is the clean chart. You guys can see here, there's not really much going on. Price has been in this area of consolidation range for like the past hour now, and it's just sitting in there, which is fine. I personally don't care because I actually want this liquidity here to establish. Once it establishes, then perfect. We can start like doing whatever it needs to do, because I just want to make sure we have a close area of liquidity right here in order for us to, possibly take a trade if it does come down. So once this here closes, we can start looking at the overall picture. If we have a bias for a sell, then I'll be okay with looking for liquidity to push down below. However, there might be another one up here as well. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Nick said on the Zoom, you can move my face. Okay, perfect. That's good to know. I guess it's just on the YouTube where you can't make adjustments. But yeah, good to know, Nick. Thanks for letting me know, because I didn't know if you could move it or not. All right, so price is pushing up right here. It's starting to look fine, so we can probably establish this as the area of liquidity. So I think we're good with that there. Let me just see how far is a push if and when we do get a push down from this area here. So I want to make sure it's not too wide. Yeah, no, it looks fine for the most part. Price may push up, guys. Who knows? Price may push up. It's a very far push up though. It's about 1,300 pips. So price can push up, doesn't necessarily mean it has to push down. It can push up. But if it does push up, so this is what you guys want to look for. You don't want to see a straight push up, right? Like that's not good, because if you see something like that, price is probably going to retrace. You probably want price to push up a little bit, consolidate, push up, retrace, push up, consolidate, and then you catch the breakout, right? That's the look that you're looking for. You want something that's kind of messy like this. You don't want a straight push. You want something that's messy where it pushes up, consolidates, pushes up, retraces, pushes up, consolidates, and then breaks out. That's what you want to look for if you're looking for the buy here. You don't want a straight push, because if you get a straight push, it's going to be overextended and price is going to have to retrace back. So another thing to pay attention to. So let me go and calculate price again. I just want to make sure it's still about 82 points. So 33,405 minus 3330. Sorry, wrong number. 33,412 minus 33,348. Okay, I think the pricing is a little crazy now. Let me check again. 33,417 minus 33,353. Okay, so the numbers have changed a lot, guys. The spread has changed by like 20 points. Or not the spread, but the price differential between TradingView and MT4. So again, you might not want to put a sell stop because this thing might shift around again. Let me check again. All right, 33,416 minus 33,350. 66 now. So the price differential is 66 points now. It was 82 earlier, now it's 66. If I enter, I'm probably gonna do a manual entry because the price differential is not, it's not it right now. I'll check again in a little bit. And then we'll see. Essa said, I think it'll be MT4 on 33,256. Yeah, the problem with that, Essa, is that Andrew and me identified it earlier. It was 82 point differential. Now it's 66 point differential. If you enter at that much of a differential, you're going to be entering at like a 200 point difference, right? So if you're going for 300 pips, you're actually going to have to go for 500 because you're going to enter too early or enter too late. So I probably wouldn't risk it. Because yeah, you have the number right now, but the number can change. The numbers change like a lot. So it is it's a bit off. Let's see. Let's see. Will said, I don't know why, but the regular US30 chart is the same price as FTMO right now. So let's take a look at currency.com. It's pretty close, but it's off by like a few points. Well, so I'm looking at it right now. It's 33,354. On MT4, it's 33,48. So it's off by like maybe 2 or 3 points. It's very close though. Super, super close. I'm probably just going to enter manually, guys, because I don't want to risk it. It's not worth the risk, especially if you're getting in at like such a huge price differential. So I'm just going to do it manually. When it gets to that point, I think it's better that way because then you get your TP set anyways. But yeah, I mean, sometimes the market moves crazy like this. Sometimes it's on point. Sometimes it's a bit off. I mean, it's just all over the place. Satyam said he got liquidity on NASDAQ, 100 pips though. Just informing, please do not FOMO. Yeah, so Satyam here has been using the same strategy that we're using here, but on NASDAQ. So yeah, solid work right there. Another thing that you guys want to keep in mind is that you guys are trading in the direction of momentum, right? So like momentum indicator here is actually necessary. Like Satyam there caught an entry on NASDAQ, but that could have been sheer luck, right? So just, keep that in mind, guys. It's okay to experiment, but just keep in mind that you do need momentum because you can't just be taking trades if, price points are getting touched. You technically need momentum to push through it. And that's really what's going to help with confirming the entry if you do have an entry there. So yeah, thanks, Satyam, for the heads up. But just, in the future, not for you, but people in general, if you want to do that, what Satyam is doing, applying this strategy on other time frames, make sure that you're trading the direction of momentum. All right, so here we go as price starts to come down a little further. I was just trying to see because I'm not sure if the 300 pips might be too big of a push because it's pretty big of a push, not crazy big, but it is pretty big of a push. So let's take a look at the overall bias again, guys. So let's take a look at the fundamentals. Fundamentals are currently 117, 112 points in the red. So we do have bearish bias. Retail sentiment's currently 53% short. So that's pretty much irrelevant for us right now, not useful. Looking over here at the technicals. Yeah, so I missed the trade there. Sorry, guys. I wasn't paying attention to the high level momentum scalp, but Vince over here actually caught the trade. You guys can see over here, you can see that it hit full TP. So there was a high level momentum scalp here that came up. I totally missed it. It happened too quickly. Yeah, so Vince caught it and Essa caught it. Can you see crazy market? Yeah, it's just a little hectic right now. So just be aware. You know, the easier way to put a pending order is you can put a horizontal line on MT4. I just did it right now. And let me see if I can put a pending order there. Sell stop. 33. 256. All right, so the liquidity is sitting at 33,256 on MT4. I just put a horizontal line right there to see where it was at. So 33, 286, 33, 226. Yeah, I didn't do that right. What did I do wrong? 33, 256, 33, 2. I don't know what I did wrong there. It looks fine to me. Oh, it's a buy stop. Okay. Damn it. See, I hate when I put a pending order and then I can't take off the stupid line. I put a horizontal line there and now I can't move it because it's the same price as my. All right, it's all good. Let's leave it as is. Yeah, no, the maker said double click the line, right click and delete. But the thing is my entry price is on the line because I put the entry price at the where the line's at. So when I double click on it, it goes to my order, not the line. So I can't take the line off. I think I go to object list. Let me see if I can adjust it here. There we go. I just went to my object list and I deleted it myself. But yeah, because I put the line over the, I guess I could do that in the future, but it's just kind of annoying having to set that there. Made some adjustments there. So I put a sell stop right. Oh, fuck, let me see if the order is proper. Okay, the order is proper. All right, yeah. So I got it set there. I got the pending order there for the liquidity, guys. If price ends up coming down, I just want to make sure I don't miss it in case we get like some sort of breakout that happens to the downside. So I'm pretty sure it's established right there. It's established, but it's not close. So it's still got it's got a ways to go until it gets down to that point. Essa said, I always just right click the pending cells, then modify it so I don't get annoyed with the lines. I know how it is annoying. Yeah, exactly. Essa. It's just there's so much stuff on MT4 and it's just not as robust as TradingView, where you can just easily make adjustments. But it's all good. So I do have the sell stop set up right there, guys. At that point, my sell stop entry point is at 22 or 33,256, I believe. Yeah, 33,256. TP stop loss 300 pips. Yeah, Essa said MT4 feels like the retro games. I agree, right? It's like an Atari. And Atari, for those of you who know what an Atari is. All right, so there's no entries right here, guys. I have the high-low setup right here. As you can see, price is still just ranging within this area. There's not really much. Not really too much to go off here. Just a lot of back and forth movement still. Let me make some adjustments here. All right, so as you guys can see, the range here is pretty tight. I mean, it's just getting tighter. It's basically preparing for a breakout, it seems. This is the clean chart. Not really too much going on here. It's just going sideways. It seems like a lot of people are just waiting right now because Fed Barr is currently speaking, or I don't know if he's done yet, but Fed member Jefferson, Fed member Barr is speaking this morning. The Fed's basically speaking. Biden is speaking today too, talking about, I forgot. Kenny sent me a link earlier with Biden speaking. Just a lot of like random stuff going on behind the scenes that people are kind of careful about right now. So the volatility is it's pretty flat. Let's see. Andrew's asking if I'm going to cancel the pending order if it gets close to news price. Let me check the news real quick. Yeah, no, you're right. I probably should. So I'm actually going to cancel my pending order, guys. Thanks, Andrew, because I forgot there was news at 7. It's existing home sales. This is medium news, but for the past couple of months, it's been pretty high impact. So I'm probably going to cancel it. Let me see how far is it right now. Yeah, there's no point in risking it because if we get a spike based off that news, you might get caught in a trade that you don't want to be in. So I'm going to delete mine right now. I just deleted my pending order, guys. I'll watch it and I'll see where price goes. If anything, maybe I'll go for like 100 pips, but I'm not going to go for the full 300 off the liquidity if it gets to that point. Yeah, no, that's not worth the risk. Thanks, Andrew, for the heads up. So guys, for my data, I've tested this strategy pretty much for the past 2 months. For the past 2 months, this strategy hasn't lost once. Unless you traded during news. So like, for example, if we have news coming up right here in the next 10 minutes, if you would have traded it, you probably would have lost a trade because you would have gotten caught in a spike because price would have spiked and then spiked right back in correction, based off the news. So I canceled my order. I don't have a pending order here anymore for the liquidity. If I do take it, I'll probably take it manually and I'll only go for 100 pips. I'm not going to go for the full 300 pips because you could get caught in a spike. Like what will happen here at 7 o'clock is there's high impact news, medium to high impact news, price may spike, then come right back up, right? So not going to take that risk today. I'll go for a smaller move, but not for that big move. It's just not really, it's not necessary. So we'll see what happens. News is coming up in about 7 minutes. The thing with the news, guys, is that you don't want to take any entries or any risky entries before or after news, because what could happen here is, so this is what might happen. We could get a spike and then it'll come down a little bit and then it'll just consolidate a little bit and then it'll completely reverse, right? Because when there's news, price will either have an instant reaction when the news happens, or it can have late reaction, or it can have an early reaction. So you might get some unusual price movement before, at the time of news, and after. So you just want to be careful when you have news like that, especially when it's high impact or medium impact. Right now it's medium impact, so I'm not really going to mess with it. If it was low impact, then okay, I've been fine. But like, for example, natural gas storage, I probably wouldn't care about this too much, but I do care about existing home sales because this is going to directly affect the economy here in the US. It's going to affect the economy, the inflation, the interest rates, all that stuff. Because like people aren't going to buy houses, like existing home sales. If this is low, it's going to dictate how the economy is moving. Because if the interest rates are too high, people aren't buying homes, right? So it's just, you put two and two together, and then you just understand how the fundamentals work there. So just be careful with the entry there, because that can easily spike price, in either direction. Let's see. CJ said, I know yesterday you said it was better to wait 15 or 30 minutes before after news. So we figured we wouldn't take any liquidity pushes today before 8. Yeah, exactly, CJ. You're 100% right. So we'll see. We got news coming up in about 5 minutes, guys. Yeah, Nick said also, generally most of them hit before 7. I feel like as if it's a bit of a red flag if it doesn't come up by 6:45. Yeah, I agree. It's like price is coming down a bit right here. So I'm just watching it right now, looking at where it hits or where it actually comes down to. So that loan price is still actually kind of far from it. It looks close, but it's actually a little far from it. Like it's weird. I'm looking over here at MT4. It looks way different. Yeah, the candles are way different, guys. I don't know if you guys see that, but the candles are like so different from MT4 and TradingView right now. Like price is way down here on TradingView, but if you look at MT4, price isn't even close to that point yet. I wish I could show you guys. Let me see if I can screenshot this. So weird. All right, check this out. Oh crap, what did I do? How did I delete that? Shit. Revert. There we go. Okay, so look at where price is over here on MT4. It's not even past this level, but it's actually past this level on. That's so weird. On TradingView, it's way past it already, but on MT4, it's not even close. It didn't even touch this line right here. All right, I'm gonna go off this price, because this price looks like it's more legit, because you can see that if MT4 is lagging this far behind, then it's gonna have to reach this level where it's currently at right here. So we got a head start right now on YM. Actually, now looking at it, we actually are ahead of time over here, it seems like, on YM, because this just doesn't make any sense to me. This candle right here, this wick is right here, but we already know price is past that candle. So I would just focus on YM. And this is another reason why we use YM, right? MT4 is delayed right now. So we're kind of like in the future, in a sense, because we see that price has already dropped down to this point. All right, so just keep that in mind, guys. I didn't notice it until now. I was like, it's such a different price difference. The candles are the same. Now the candles are actually where it's supposed to be. So this candle here is now caught up on MT4, but this drop right here isn't even on the chart for MT4. All right, so I think that would be a hint that today's going to be kind of a weird trading day. I mean, it's been kind of a weird trading day since open, but to see how different that is, that's a big difference between, so I'm just going to stick to this here. I'm not even going to look at MT4. I'm just going to look at this chart here, because, so if that was the case, like for example here, if that was the case and I had my pending sell stop right there on MT4, it actually would have never triggered, because price would have touched here and I would have missed the entire move. So I'd have been off by like a whole bunch. Edwin said, but you're comparing futures to the spot market. The spot market is a copy of this. It's supposed to be the same, Edwin. What's the candle should be the same, like price, like it should be exactly the same. It's always been the same. Like that, if it was different, Edwin, none of our trades would have worked out in the past like 5 years, right? Because we're using the same chart. So they should still be the same. It doesn't matter if you're comparing futures to the spot market, it's the same exact thing. Because if we're entering trades here and we've been doing this for years and we're still winning the trades, don't you think it'd be the same thing on MT4? That's a big difference. Like whether it's a futures market or a spot market, the candle should be the same. Pricing will be different. That's for sure. Pricing will for sure be different, but the candle should be at the same price point. So I'm not sure like what you're trying to get, Edwin, but I mean, if that was the case, we would have never won any of these trades for like the past, how many years we've been doing these strategies. Because we've been using this for a while. It's not like we just used this yesterday. We've been using this for a while now. So the candle should be the same, but the only difference should be pricing. That's why I always tell you guys, you have to determine the price difference between MT4 and TradingView, but the candles are exactly the same. It's just right now, they're like way different. Let's see, Vince said the candle at 700 should have matched up with the 611 candle. Yeah, no, I agree too. All right, we have news right here, guys. Let me go and mark this up. So we got news right here on this specific candle right there. And I'm going to clean this up. All right, so we got the news candle right there. Probably still want to be a little careful with making any type of entry here, guys. If this candle doesn't move too much, it's probably going to have a late reaction. Yeah, Andrew said the other day I had the same problem. I put a pending order by finding the same candle at MT4, and when I saw it come back to the charts, I saw it blasting through the TP on TradingView, while my pending order never got filled on MT4. Yeah, I agree, Andrew. It's weird. It worked for me the other day. So I put a pending order yesterday, and it worked for me because it was about the same. The charts were the same, but for today, it's like way different. So maybe pending orders might not be the best option. Because obviously something like this might happen. This doesn't happen too often though. Usually it's about the same, but today's just one of the days that are kind of off. I know it's been like this for the past couple of days because it typically happens when the volatility is very high, but today the volume is not that high. It's kind of just around the same. Let's see. So market open right here at 630. $41. Yeah, it's only moved like about 400 to 500 pips. So the volatility and volume here is not very high. So it shouldn't be like much of a big difference. But for whatever reason, today the candles are like way off. So yeah, I mean, Edwin, if you have any follow-up on that, I'm just curious like what you mean by that, because the candle should be the same. The only difference is price. That's why we don't typically order at the price, but the candles here are way different. This candle shouldn't be way down here, and MT4 shouldn't be like way up here, right? It's just delayed. So like there shouldn't be that much of a delay. I know we have a head start here using YM by like maybe a split second or maybe a second or two, but it shouldn't be like off by a whole minute, right? Because this candle is way down here. And if you look on MT4, price has never gone down to this point, specifically for FTMO. So I don't know if you know something that I don't know, and I wouldn't mind you like, diving deeper into that. But from my understanding, the candle should be exactly the same. Pricing will never be the same between brokers, between assets, between etc. But the chart pattern should be the same. The data is going to be a bit different, of course, but the everything else should be kind of in line. So guys, we still have a liquidity area right here that needs to be tested, I guess, but it hasn't been tested yet. If you do take this, I do recommend taking it maybe for a smaller push, only 100 pips, not the full 300, because this thing can easily just correct back up. It looks like price has not reacted to the news yet. News happened right here at 7 o'clock. It only moved like about, less than 100 pips. So what might happen here is we might get a breakout to the bottom, breakout to the top. Anything could happen, but that's something to maybe look out for. So the candles look the same now. They look back to normal. It's just this move over here. Well, it looks like MT4 price is like a lot higher compared to, because it still hasn't gone down to this point right here. But for the most part, it's lined up. So these candles right here look fine. These candles right here look just like they do on MT4. Or FTMO, whatever you guys want to call it, MT4. I'm just going to call it MT4 because that's the only account that I use for MT4. I always have my FTMO as my main account. All right, so let's see if price does come down to this point here. Hasn't came down yet. It's almost there. Roman is asking, does Sean watch this chat? Yeah, I do. I have you guys on my other screen. So I have 3 screens here in my office. I have one screen that's just for the chats, and I have one in front of me, obviously my main charts, and then I have one for just my MT4. So yeah, Roman, I do see your message there. All right, so we don't have any entries here yet. Let me look back over here to see if there's any high level momentum scalps. I don't see anything here. If we do get a high level momentum scalp, it would have to be a buy. But we don't have that right now. You know, I'm kind of curious now. I want to go back and see if, actually, I'm going to wait here first. I was going to see if the currency.com price is like MC4 or if it's like this. All right, let me just check real quick. Yeah, so if you look over here at here's a spot price, Edwin, that you mentioned earlier, right? This is the same thing, it's spot price, but the candle's way down here. If you look back at MT4, it's still not down there, right? So like I mentioned earlier, guys, it doesn't matter. The candle should still be the same. Pricing will be different, but you can look at spot price here at any of these US30 brokers. Not all of them. So Black Bull is actually the same as it didn't have that drop down like we had for the other US30 broker. ACAP over here, it's down here. This is a spot broker as well. So I don't think there's a difference there. The candle should be the same. So as you can see, the different US30 brokers, everybody has different data. So it doesn't matter which data you're using, but the candle should be the same. Futures over here, YM, is the same as the spot broker for currency.com. And it's the same for ACAP. The difference here is Black Bull and maybe capital.com. It's just the candles are different on this specific one right here. It's just this one candle too, because it corrects right after that, this one. So I'm just like kind of intrigued by like what, I thought I was missing something, but I looked at these different data sets over here and they're all pretty much kind of off, whether it be future price, whether it be spot price, all the spot prices are kind of different too. Roman said, I remember you stopped watching the chat here a few months back, some troll stuff going on. Yeah, no, Roman, I remember that. We would get trolls in the group like at least like maybe once a month where they would come through and then I'd have to close down the YouTube and it sucks because I don't want to close it down for people. But yeah, I mean, it happens, right? That's just it's the way of life. If you don't get trolls, you're probably not doing something right, right? Because people aren't going to care what you're doing. But yeah, no, good to see you, Roman. Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, I was going to ask you if you're done traveling. I remember before you were like traveling and trading. Seems like you're done. You're traveling. All right, so we're not even close to the liquidity area down here, guys. So I don't think we'll get this area of liquidity, at least not anytime soon. Price is pushing up right now. I just missed that. Never mind. There would be no entry here because the lower low was right here. This was a higher low. So there's actually no entry right there. Higher low, buy signal. Didn't meet criteria. Essa said, I hope you don't yawn today, Sean. Yeah, no. It's a boring market right now. There's not really too much going on. The next area of liquidity is like way too far. I don't think this area is going to get hit by today. So I'm kind of banking on price to come down. Right. We just don't have much movement today. You guys can see this huge candle. This is probably a late reaction to the news from earlier that I mentioned. So as I mentioned earlier, guys, wait for the news to pass, give it some time to breathe. Existing home sales right here was actually neutral. So it didn't really have any effect, but you can see this big green candle right here probably had a late reaction to the news because the news happened over here at 7 o'clock. There was nothing that really happened. And then all of a sudden a big push to the upside right here. So as long as it's not negative, people just bought into it and then, price pushed up. The good thing with that is that price can correct back down. So right now, price is pushed up right here. This can just be a temporary push up, just whoever try to push price up and then price may just come crashing right back down if they can't hold it, which I don't know if they'll be able to hold it, right? Let's take a look at the overall bias again. Right now, looking at the fundamentals. Fundamentals are currently 75 points in the red. Looking over here at the retail sentiment is 52% short. So it's pretty much neutral at the moment. Not really much we can use here. We typically want this to be above like 60 to 65% in one direction or the other so that we can have a retail sentiment view and we can do the opposite of everybody else. But right now, everyone's down the middle. Looking over here at the fundamentals, I don't see this getting to, over 100 points and staying there. in the next couple minutes or so. So we'll come back and recheck that. So this is pretty much bearish neutral. This is irrelevant. So bearish neutral fundamentals. Let's take a look at the technicals right now. Technicals are currently all neutral right now. The higher time frames are neutral right in between all the pivots. The 1 minute here is somewhat bullish, but the 5 minutes neutral and the 10 minutes neutral. So we don't have a bias here at all. Technicals are pretty much straight neutral. Fundamentals are bearish neutral, and the retail sentiment is neutral as well. So until we have some sort of bias, I'm just expecting price to go sideways, which is fine. You know, I'm completely fine with that there. I don't really necessarily care if it becomes, you know, too useful for us. So we have this high right here, but it's at the 630 candle. So I don't know if I would really use that as I'll mark it up as an area right there of liquidity, but this isn't after I'll just mark it. I'm not going to take this trade though. So this is, liquidity created after market open. So this is liquidity that was created after market open. I'm just kind of curious to see how it plays out. I'm not going to use it, but I'm just going to see where, like, how it plays out right here. 10-minute time frame. So I'm not going to take the trade. I just want to see how it plays out. It's probably going to play out. And so I'm always curious to see how these play out, like, you know, using them, and it's probably going to go through. Yep, and it went right through it. Actually, not yet. Almost. It's close. But you guys can see here how the liquidity is not very strong, right? There's liquidity there, but it's not like blasting right through it like we normally have. I just want to see how price react to it because it's like a news reaction right here. It's probably gonna hit TP though. Yeah, so this is how you guys understand how market works, right? You have to use trial and error. Like right now, I'm not taking this trade. I just mark it up to see if this liquidity would work out. But you can see how this area of liquidity is not very strong, right? It's not a strong point. No, this is 100 camo. Anything after the first liquidity, which we haven't hit yet, is going to be 100 because some people like to trade liquidity after the opening price. So again, right here, this is the reason why I wouldn't take a trade, right? So this liquidity here is in a strong area of liquidity. If this was a strong area, price would have hit it and would have blasted right through. So Maria, you had this question yesterday about like why I don't mark up liquidity after market opens. This is exactly why, right? Because it's not a strong area of liquidity. So I'm not in this position right here, guys. I'm just experimenting. What I did was I identify that liquidity after market open. So this was a 630 candle. This liquidity established after, but it wasn't a good area, right? So that's why I wouldn't have taken the trade. I told you guys from the beginning, not going to take it, just going to play around with it, see how it plays out. But you can see here that this is not a good area to mess around with. So I'm just going to take this off real quick. I don't want you guys to think that I'm in the position. I didn't take it. I just wanted to experiment, see how it reacted to the news price. Or not news price, to the liquidity. So there goes a clear example of why I don't mark up liquidity after the market opens. I mean, it's probably going to hit, like it's probably going to hit, but it's not going to be a smooth push. It's probably going to bounce around a bit and then eventually shoot up. But if you have real liquidity, like down here, liquidity that's been established before market open, then if price does get to that point, it's going to like literally blast right through. Like no questions asked, just like blast right through, right? So, yeah, I just want to show you guys an example there so that you guys can see. Again, that's another reason why you want to stick to the liquidity that's marked up before the market actually opens, because a lot of those orders have been sitting there for a while now. All right, so other than that, let me see if there's anything else here that we can mark up. So there's a new higher high right here. So with that said, we have a possible high level momentum scalp. So we have the higher high right here. We're now looking for price to break and close below the pivots 1 and 2 right here with a sell signal. If we get that break and close below the pivots with the sell signal, then we have a possible opportunity for a high level momentum scalp. It's got to be below pivots 1 and 2 though. Today's just a bit of a choppy day, guys. It's not really directional, as you guys can see. Price has been ranging since open. So market open right, or price dropped down right here at like 5:30, and it's been going sideways for like over an hour now. So let's see where this ends up. Where this ends up going. Yeah, Essa said if there was some good volume, it will push for it. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Essa. There just wasn't enough volume there. All right, we have a possible high-low momentum scalp here, but again, guys, you guys have to wait for the candle to actually close. If the candle is too big, you also want to wait for that to maybe retrace back a little bit before entry. See how this candle here is disappearing with the signal? It's not a good candle to enter on. So you might want to wait for it to either establish or wait for it to pull back and correct back down. So right there, you can see the sell signal just disappeared. We have about 20 seconds left on this candle. You guys have to wait and see how it ends up closing. If it doesn't close properly, then obviously no entry there. Yeah, look, it looks like there's no entry here, guys. 10 seconds left. I don't see any entry coming up here at all. 5 seconds left. No entry. Yeah, retrace super hard. Let's see, D's asking, would that have also been a high-low scalp if you ignored the bias? I don't think so. D. Well, Daniel, because price would have to break and close past it. This candle right here didn't break and close past this high right here. It touched it, but it didn't break and close past it. So there'd be no high-low scalp right there. Because this candle would have to like clearly break and close past the level. I have the zone right here marked up, and it's like slightly below it. I mean, if you really wanted to zoom in, you could check, but you can see right there. And you wouldn't want to zoom in anyways. You want to make sure that it's like clearly above it. So no high-low scalp there. All right, so here we are back to the drawing board. No entries for us at the moment. No sell signal came up here, so there's no high-low momentum scalp. This market is just not, I mean, it's not really good. As you guys can see, there's just, I mean, it's a lot of back and forth movement, not necessarily anything good here. It's kind of just, it's a lot of ranging. The range just gets wider, but it just keeps pulling back down. So it like goes up, comes back down, etc. Again, I don't think liquidity up here is going to get hit. So I'd probably just sit tight and wait. I wonder if this thing actually played out. Let's see. No, see how this fake out happened right here? Price pulled back, stopped out, now it's pushing up to hit CP. So basically faked out right here, pulled back, and then now it's pushing back up for another push through to full TP. So it's a tricky move right there. A lot of like traps being set right now. I'm glad we didn't take the trade there. I wouldn't have taken it anyways because it falls out of my criteria. I need to mark up those liquidity areas pre-market or like what's happened in the past, not necessarily for today. All right, so price is still pushing up right here. We don't have any entries for us available right now. A new higher high was established. I'll go ahead and make some adjustments there. New higher high, but it's not really doing much. As you guys can see, it's still just going sideways. So it just pushes the range up a little higher, but it's still coming back down. It's kind of frustrating because there's no opportunities here and there's no bias. So it looks like we might be getting a shift back to the upside. If that's the case, then that's perfectly fine. I don't care if that ends up being the case here. The 1 minute is bullish, 5 minutes still bearish. You can see the trend meter down below is still red. Price is still below the pivots. 10 minutes still bearish. The 30-minute here is starting to shift, as you guys can see. 30 minutes actually shifting before the 5 and 10. The 1 and 30 are actually shifting to a bullish trend. 1 hour is bullish. So it kind of skips over. So you can see over here, the 1 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour are all bullish. The 5 minute, 10 minute, and 4 hour are still bearish. So it's very mixed right now. But it does not look like we're going to get any liquidity pushes. It's 7:20 right now, so it's getting close to 8 o'clock, guys. Not really that close, but it's like about 40 minutes till 8. So I don't think we're going to get liquidity anytime soon. You know, where price is currently at right now. Let me just zoom out real quick. All right, so let me just mark it up real quick and I'll show you guys what we're working with. So in order for us to get liquidity up top, it's got to push 1,230 pips. If we get liquidity to the bottom, it's got to push down about 1,000 pips. So I don't know if we're going to get liquidity today. We might. I mean, this thing starts to get tight. As it gets tighter and tighter, we might have a better opportunity, but it's really just sitting down the middle. Right now, it's about 1,000 pips from both areas of liquidity. We don't have any high-low momentum scalps. Looks like price is trying to retest the opening price, or not opening price, the news price. So you can see the news candle right here from 5:30. Price is actually correcting back to that area. So price is pushing up right here. Target price point, if price does push up higher, is going to be the pink line right there, which is news price. So there goes price pushes up higher. And it looks like where the target's going to get hit is the pink line right there. So price continues to push up higher. That's target price point, news price. Typically, these horizontal lines act as areas for price to test. So there we go. So I marked up right here where price was going to go. It went exactly there to that point. Price is still a bit far from liquidity, though. It's not there yet. So it is getting a little closer. 88 pips right there. Or 88 points, 880 pips. I mean, it looks like price may be shifting to a bullish bias, possibly. There's no point in drawing a high right now because price is just climbing at the moment. Let's see, said not getting liquidity today, and it says, yeah, exactly. said not getting liquidity today, and it's 100% profitable than losing because the market is bad today. Yeah, it's kind of just all over the place. The market's not really moving too smoothly. I mean, we might get liquidity to the top. We're getting closer and closer to it. If we do get liquidity to the top, guys, I'm probably not going to take it for the full 300 pips though. So we're getting a little closer. It's like about 700 pips away from it now. This is the pattern that I would like to see play out. If we do get liquidity to the top, and this is exactly what I mentioned earlier. So if you guys saw earlier, when I drew up the chart, I said, I don't want to push straight to the upside, right? I said I wanted price to kind of have a messy push to the upside. So I said I wanted price to push up, retrace, push up, retrace, go sideways, push up, retrace, go up, retrace, and then break out to the liquidity right here. So if you guys remember this right here, I drew this like early in the session. I said if price does get to this higher level, I want it to be a messy push to the upside because you don't want to enter and it's like directly pushing up. So like, for example, right here, like, I don't want this to keep climbing like it's doing right now because it's just going to be overextended, right? I actually want price to slump down and then shoot back up. Because if this is the case where price just does a smooth push to the upside like this is like unrealistic, right? So for it to keep doing this, if it keeps doing this, this is super unrealistic. What's typically going to happen is if this becomes the case and price just keeps doing this right here, market's not going to do this. If the market did this, everybody would be rich right now, right? Everyone would just buy the dip. So if that's the case and price gets up to this point like this, and it keeps doing this, this is what's going to happen. Price is going to get to this point, and then it's going to come down super heavy, and then it's going to come right back up. So I wouldn't want price to continue pushing up smoothly like this. I want the market to get crazy, because if it gets crazy, then at that point, we have a better opportunity for price to actually, break out to the upside. Because if we don't have any crazy movement here, it's going to have to retrace. And the last thing you want to happen is for it to retrace when it gets to your entry point. Because if you get to this point right here and it retraces super hard, you're going to go straight to your stop loss. So, nice. Yeah, Andrew said he hit a small quick 100 pips on that push to news. Nice. Martha did it too. Yeah, I know. A lot of guys here still trading are just taking trades based off my analysis, which is perfectly fine. But just be careful when you guys are taking those types of trades, because you don't know what's going to happen next. Essa said it will stack liquidity for tomorrow. Yeah, and I agree, Essa. I wouldn't mind if price just keeps going sideways around this area, because this area of liquidity will be sitting and it'll be sitting and waiting for us tomorrow, right? So the liquidity is just going to build up. If you go on the higher time frames, you'll see that liquidity over here is still lined up. So there's a lot of liquidity down below over here. So, this might not hit tomorrow. It might hit like maybe next month, right? We're going to have this liquidity here still marked up. We're not marked up, we'll have it ready. Same with this area up here, right? We have liquidity way up here. So it doesn't matter where price is going. We're just going to have liquidity lined up for us tomorrow. So it's not really a big deal. I'm not really too stressed out about it. I'm not even stressed at all. I'm kind of relieved that we're not caught in anything crazy. It does suck sometimes. Like, I know sometimes you guys want profits every single day, but there's going to be some days where it's like, it's better to just sit out the market. Like for today, today's not really a good day to trade. We have a possible entry over here for a high level momentum scalp for a sell. The sell signal will need to break and close past the pivots though. I don't know how I feel about this high level momentum scalp if it does come. I wouldn't want it to happen on this specific candle, maybe on the next candle or the next two candles, because it's just going to confirm like a retracement. But as you can see right here, it's not really smooth. We do have a double body rejection right there, but we have two of them. So we have two V1s actually. We have a V1 from up here and a V1 from down here. Not necessarily V1 because there's no pending signal. But there is a V1 variation right here that's currently, right, already hit TP actually. Yeah, there was a V1 variation right here, double body rejection, and it blasted right through a TP. So we have a pending sell signal right here, but in order for us to have an entry, the sell signal would need to break and close past pivots 1 and 2 down below here. So if we don't get that break and close down below there, there's not going to be any entry for us. All right, so there's no entry there yet. We should probably look for some SR rejection scalps here since market's going sideways right now. See, the problem with this here is that there's no zone, there's no bias. So even if we have these other strategies here that we're looking at, there's no bias right now. Let's see. Yeah, because the fundamentals are still at 77. They haven't really, there's no strong bias at the moment. Like right now, it's not even, it's just neutral. It's at 0. Fundamental retail sentiment over here is pretty much neutral too. There's no, typically you want it to be about like around like 65%. And there's just no bias, guys. The technicals over here are pretty much neutral. They're like right in between the pivots on like all time frames. Let's see, Vince said there's a V1 at 725. So you're saying, no, so there is no bias. I'm just saying that there's a V1 pattern right there. Vince. That's why I didn't take it. If it was an actual V1, I would have taken it. But there's no bias right now at all. Yeah. I was just marking up the double body because so what I was looking for right here, Vince, is I was looking for a double body because it would establish the reversal, right? So if we had a double body there, a V1 pattern, not necessarily a V1 variation, but V1 pattern, and then we got a sell signal here that broke and closed below the pivots 1 and 2, then this would have been a smooth entry for a high level momentum scalp, right? I just use it as a confluence. I don't take V1s by themselves anymore. I just use it as a confluence. So if I'm looking for a buy here, I would look for a V1 pattern on the bottom, and I'd look for a buy signal or a high-low scalp. There's actually a high-low scalp that just broke and closed right here. I don't know if anybody caught it, but there was a news candle right here, so I wouldn't have messed with it. But this candle right here was a high-low scalp. This candle right here was the high. Price broke and closed past it. There's a bullish momentum here. Trend is somewhat bullish right now. As you can see, it's bullish on the 1, 5, and 10. Not super bullish, but it's somewhat bullish. And price is continuing to, climb up a little higher from where it's currently at. It's a bit overextended though, so it's kind of a messy area to be trading in. I mean, I wouldn't have taken it myself. There's news right here at 7 o'clock too. So this is actually the news candle. But yeah, there's a high-low scalp right there. I mean, there's a lot of strategies that still work. I just don't use them for myself personally. Yeah, high-low scalp right there would have blasted right through the TP. Target price point is probably going to be the sessions right here. So if price pushes up further, it's going to go up and test that area right there, that purple line. Let's see. Let me scroll up real quick. CJ said, I'm not mad about today, to be honest. We've been highly profitable with liquidity in the past weeks. Yeah, I mean, there wasn't even liquidity today. So it's not like we lost a trade. It was just there wasn't an entry. It's just kind of like we were on a roll. So I was kind of hoping to get a liquidity today, but unfortunately we didn't. I mean, there's still an opportunity here for price to reach that price point, right? So we might get liquidity still. We're probably not going to get it for a sell. Price is about 1,670 pips away from the sell over here, but it's only about 500 pips away from the buy. So, I mean, yeah, exactly. Maddie said best to preserve capital, especially on a day like this, right? People always call it Tuesday, Trap Tuesday. Some people call it Thursday, Trap Thursday. I mean, it's kind of what it seems like right now. There's not really much for us to do. There isn't even any entries for high level momentum scalps. It's just a weird market today, in general. And there's no bias right now. If we had a bias, then great. Like if I had a bullish bias right now, I'd be taking buys. But we don't really have a bullish bias. We have bullish technicals here, but the fundamentals are still pretty flat. Like they're not really, they're plus 22 right now. They're like around 0. The only way for it to be bullish is it's going to have to be above 100 points. Also looking over here at sentiment. Sentiment's pretty much neutral too. Not really. I'm just going to close this. We don't really care about that anyways. Natural gas storage right there. Let's see the news from today. Natural gas storage was positive. So that's probably what gave it that little push to the upside right there. I'm just going to delete these highs because there's no point in drawing if price keeps pushing up higher. All right, price is getting pretty close to this area of liquidity right there. It's not there yet. So what I would like to see here is I'd like to see a sharp pullback or maybe some consolidation and then prepare for the breakout to the upside if price does get to this point here. If price gets to this point and doesn't necessarily pull back or retrace or consolidate, then I'd probably sit out on it for this area of liquidity because it's overextended. Yeah, Maddie said it's probably going to hit the sessions, which it did right there. It actually blasted right through the sessions and then hit the next one right there. So it's rejecting off the New York high from yesterday. Yeah. Let's see. Neji said, I have price at a 15-minute resistance on TradingView from 33,477 to 33,449. Let's see. Yeah, I could see the resistance right there off that high. So you're at a price point that I could see that bouncing off of Niji, Neji, or I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, Neji or Niji. Yeah, no, you'd have resistance at that area. So this area right here, we have liquidity marked up. I mean, price can bounce off it. So you can see right here that price is pushed up quite a bit. I'm just going to take this off. I wouldn't take the liquidity initially. I would probably wait a little bit, wait for it to consolidate a bit. And then if it pushes through, so right here, this is perfect, right? We have the V1 variation right here, or a V1 pattern. This is a reversal pattern. I think this is going to be a fake out. So I think price is going to come down a little bit, maybe consolidate. And then on the next attempt, that's probably where it's going to blast right through. So just something to look out for. You know, it's just all about patience and discipline right here. This is actually what I want it to happen. I want this to pull back a little bit, provide a fake out. And then when it corrects back up higher, then that's where I'm going to see price break through liquidity. So let's see. Vin said it looks like it hit liquidity already on MT4. Yeah, I'd probably not go off the MT4 chart. It probably did because the candles have been super different between the two. So, I mean, it probably did, Vince, but I would be careful. This is a 10-minute. Yeah, this is a 10-minute high right here. This was marked at 4 o'clock at 4 a.m. So price got to this point at 4 a.m. yesterday, or this morning actually. And then yeah, that's going to be the area where it's actually a good area right there, because whoever caught the top here, this is where the stop losses are sitting. So we'll see. I'm not going to put any pending orders there. I'll probably just watch and see. Probably just go for 100 pips. Nothing too crazy right there. So yeah, this lined up with Neji's analysis there, which she had a resistance at that point. That's fine. I think the resistance will, so here's the thing, here's the crossroads. One of two situations will happen. Either Neji's resistance will confirm and price will come down harder, or price will just break through it, hit liquidity, and continue pushing up higher from there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. 7:37, so it's not 8 o'clock yet. We still have some time here, but we don't have any entries for us to take at the moment. I mean, if we have anything, great, but at the moment, probably not. I would actually like price to kind of just go sideways here for a bit, even retrace down a little bit if it needs to. But I think on the next test back to the upside, it's probably going to blast through this liquidity. And this is going to be the liquidity for the day. Let me see how far is 300. $300 is actually not that bad. Gotcha. Yeah, Neji said she also has, or he, sorry, I don't know if it's he or she. Neji said that there's also a 1 hour resistance right there as well. So, I mean, we'll see. If price breaks past it, it's going to be liquidity. If not, then it's going to be resistance, like Neji mentioned. So this is what I always tell you guys. Like, there's no right or wrong way to trade, right? Like Neji over here is identifying this as resistance. That's not a wrong idea. We're identifying it as liquidity. So we can kind of use two different analysis. If Neji sees it as a resistance, then okay, perfect. If it bounces off, then that's good for Neji. If it breaks through it, it's going to be liquidity. So that's good for us. So it's always good to have an open mind when you guys are trading. I see a lot of people who always argue about trading strategies and they think their strategies are the best. But in reality, you can trade in any type of way. It just depends on like how you want to trade. Some people trade support resistance, some people trade break and retest. Those are like two opposite strategies. So yeah, I mean, it can play out in either direction. Yeah, Neji said, but it looks like it's breaking since the trend has changed. Yeah, I can see that too. It's kind of what I'm looking for here. So I'm looking for that retest of liquidity, or not retest, but initial test. I think 300 pips might be a little might be pushing it a little bit. Yeah, 300 pips is kind of a big push. Oh, my fucking neck's all sore. I gotta go get a massage soon. All right, let's see. All right, looks like price is getting close to that area there. I feel like a breakout's going to happen, guys, because it is consolidating a little hard right now. So I think if and when price gets to that point, it's probably going to be a breakout. Let me see what the price difference is right now between TradingView and MT4. So price right now is 33,542 minus 33,470. Damn, it's a big price difference right now. Let me do it again. 33,530 or 33,545 minus 33,846. Yeah, the price difference just keeps changing, guys. So I probably wouldn't put any pending orders here. I would just do it manually because it's just, you're not going to get a proper price point. It's just not going to happen. Let's see. CJ said, is there another level of liquidity above? Yeah, there is. It's at 33,683 though. It's kind of far up. So it's a bit of a distance up there, CJ. So it's not right here specifically, or not one that I see. Let me check. 10-minute, I don't see anything there. 15, 30, 1 hour. Yeah, I don't see any other levels right there, CJ. I just see the next one is going to be a little bit higher. It's at about 33,683. So that's a bit of a distance. Let's see. C said, Sean, do you have your monitors set up at eye level or down on the desk? Having my monitor at eye level has helped me a lot with neck strain. So my main monitor right here, I have like a 27-inch screen, my iMac Pro, right in front of me. Yeah, this is neck. It's his eye view, but I have my MT4 up here, and then I have my chat down here, or not down here, but eye view as well. So I think my neck hurts because I keep looking at my MT4. So yeah. I agree. It'd be nicer. I usually stand too when I'm trading, but I got kind of tired of standing for like an hour and a half on these live sessions. So I just sit now. But I'm going to be moving to my new office this Sunday. So when I move to my new office, I'll probably be standing again. I'll have a bigger space. Yeah, exactly. D said, the more your neck hurts probably means the more money you're making staring at MT4. I know, right, D? It's exactly what it is. So I'll take that. I'll take that exchange. You know, my weekly massages will like make up for it. Let's see. Yeah, there's a high level momentum right here, guys. Thanks, Camo and Maddie, for identifying it. It's not one that I would personally take because the bias is just so strong for a buy right now. So you're kind of going against the bias, but there's a high level momentum scalp right there. I don't know if anybody else caught it, but Maddie and Camo identified it. Looks like it already hit TP too. It's all good. It's just the market right now I'm not looking to mess with this market right now. Yeah, it hit TP. So there was a high level momentum scalp. I missed it, guys. Sorry. I mean, I wouldn't have taken it anyways. If I saw that high level momentum scalp, I probably wouldn't have taken it myself because I was kind of just geared on waiting for this liquidity to get hit. Looks like the resistance that Neji identified is playing out perfectly. It lined up with the high level momentum scalp. But this thing might just shift right back up, right? I was just kind of focused on this buy here to play out. So I wasn't looking for any high level momentum scalps. But yeah, Camo got it. Nice work, Camo. Maddie looks like he identified it as well. Essa caught it too. Yeah, it looks good. Kenny's asking, what does news look like for tomorrow? Let me check the news calendar real quick. So tomorrow we have Friday, May 19th. We have Fed member Williams speaking at 5:45. We have Fed member Bowman speaking at 6 o'clock. And then we have Powell speaking at 8 o'clock. Okay, so tomorrow's going to be a little crazy, guys. So be prepared for some crazy movement. I'm for sure tomorrow I might take like the liquidity push if we get that. And then after that, I'm done for the day because Powell's about to screw up the market. I mean, it's kind of weird now because Powell before when he would speak, it's like automatic buys. And when Yellen would speak, it's automatic sells. But Powell's kind of been like in between right now. So he's not necessarily a good indicator for like direction. He could say one thing, price will spike up. He'll say another thing, price will spike down. Kind of similar to Biden, but not as bad. For Biden, it's really like it's really a toss-up. If you guys saw when Biden spoke the other day, I think yesterday, right? He spoke yesterday or the day before that. He made price go up and down like immediately right after each other. He said one thing and then he said one thing after, and it just price spiked both directions. For Powell here, he's kind of the same way now. He's not as consistent as he used to be. Because before he would just have good things to say and it would just the market would spike up no matter what. Now it's kind of just it's a toss-up. So that's the news for tomorrow. We have the Fed speaking pretty much all morning, and then we have Powell speaking at 8 o'clock. Here we go. As price comes back down a little lower. Let's see. Andrew said, are they trying to reel in all the sellers? Possibly, Andrew. So that might be the case. You know, as I mentioned earlier, guys, I wanted this to not be a smooth push up. I wanted price to kind of bounce around a little bit, retrace super hard, and then correct back up. So yeah, no, they could be reeling in some sellers right here. And then this could just correct right back up. You just fill this whole gap right here and then blast right through, right? So, I mean, the market's all over the place today, as you guys can see. Clearly no direction at all. Yeah, not really too much direction here. You can see prices starting to make its way back up. It's kind of doing what we anticipated. This is actually what I wanted here. So I'll see if this ends up pushing back up right here and then finally gets to liquidity. But I don't know. I was expecting this fake out right here because I didn't want this type of pattern to play out. We got about 13 minutes till 8 o'clock. So we'll see if this pushes up from now until then. I don't know if it will, if it won't. But if not, we're probably going to just sit tight. Let's see. Glenn said marking, giving hopes to supply and demand. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't even know where to draw the area, but yeah, I agree with you, Glenn. You know, the market's always playing tricks on people, guys. So you gotta want to make sure that you're not like falling for the tricks. Like for example, over here, Neji mentioned about the resistance. I saw that too, like how she mentioned it, or he mentioned it, and I identified it. But I was still kind of set on my analysis over here, right? For liquidity. So the way to confirm if this resistance here actually holds is whether price reaches this area. So the thing that you want to look for here is I'm basically looking for the fake out. This right here was a resistance that was identified by Neji, and then price did come down a little bit. But what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for that fake out. So price did come down. I'm looking for price to fake out right here. And then I want it to come back to my price point here where I'm expecting liquidity to get hit. So we'll see. So the thing with this here, guys, is that there's another area of liquidity right here now. Right? So whoever entered the sells right here, where do you think they put their stop losses? Right here, right? At this high. So if their stop losses are placed right there and price gets to this point, it's probably going to have a big breakout right here when it hits liquidity. So a little curious to see what happens here. I mean, obviously I'm just going to wait and see, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of slow trading day today. Here's Dejan. He locked in the total profit of 1,280 for the day. Nice work, Dejan. Solid profits right there. We got Maddie over here, total profit of 810 for the day. So Maddie got his one win right there. Nice work. And I think that's about it for now. If you guys have any profits to post up, feel free to send them in. I don't have any profits myself. I don't even bother to look at the markets at 8 o'clock. So we'll see. I mean, price is still pushing up right here, but we'll see if this ends up pushing through. It's getting close. It's 7:50 right now, so we still have about 10 minutes. So there's still time. Here's Patrick. Patrick said he locked in 1,100 for the day. So he's going to take this and run. Yeah, probably best decision there, Patrick. Looks like he took the push up earlier at news price, 746, or like this push up right here, actually. Nice. So you caught that V2 variation right here. Price pushed up for a V2 variation. He took that for a quick 100 pips, and he's going to call it a day. Yeah, Maddie said V2 hit. Yeah, so it looks like a lot of you guys there actually identify that right there as a V2 variation. Price established a low right here. It's a low with a red candle, followed by a strong green candle, V2 variation, full TP. So if you guys know my other strategies, there's a lot of other people in the group here are taking my other strategies right now. Our main focus is like on two strategies right now. It's the liquidity push and the high-level momentum scalp. We had a couple high-level momentum scalps come up here. Unfortunately, I missed a couple of them. This one right here, I would have skipped even though it came up because I was looking for a buy personally. So yeah, if you guys have my strategies or you guys know my strategies, there's a couple other entries that have come up today. Let me take a look at this chart right here. There's also an SR rejection scalp, I believe. Maybe this one right here. SR rejection scalp at 6:30 or 7:30, sorry. All right, so price is just continuing to go sideways right here. Not really much for us to take. Satyam said, I'm done for the day. Thanks, Sean, for today, closing his MT4. So yeah, we'll see you back here tomorrow, Satyam. It's 7:51 right now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm just looking around and there's just nothing for us to take. There's no high-low momentum scalps. It's not much of anything right now. Gian, let's see what he got over here. Oh, damn. So yeah, Gian over here showed the comparison. He said, I don't know if anyone notices, but you can see on MT4 that the line already passed. So Gian actually had it over here. He took the liquidity push from earlier. On TradingView, it hasn't touched yet, but on MT4, it actually touched, and he took it for 100 pips. So Gian actually took the trade already. Took it right there for a nice 2,000 pip profit. Nice work, Gian. 2,000 pip profit, full TP. Yeah, so unfortunately, the screens are kind of screwed up right now with regard to TradingView and MT4. So I guess liquidity did get hit, but unfortunately, it didn't show up on our charts. So I couldn't take it. Yeah, no, nice work, Gian. Total profit of 2,270 for the day. We have Patricia over here as well. Total profit of 2,733 for the day. All wins. Nice work, Patricia. Yeah, great job killing it right there. Man, this market is frustrating. It's like annoying because I just missed out on like a bunch of trades because of the candles aren't the same. Yeah, so it looks like liquidity here did get hit. Unfortunately, we weren't able to catch it because for whatever reason, MT4 is just not. Here, I'm going to see what. Go to the 30-minute chart. Oops, what did I do? Yeah. Okay, so here's the liquidity. I'm going to show you guys right there, and I'm going to show you a screenshot of my MT4. All right, so liquidity did get hit. Freaking annoying. All right, so you can see over here that this candle right here, the current candle, didn't blast through it right here, but it did blast through it on MT4. So liquidity actually did get hit right there, and Gian caught it for 100 pips. This is the 30-minute time frame on MT4. This is the 30-minute time frame on TradingView. It's so annoying, but it's all good. So the trade that I was waiting for actually played through, and wasn't able to catch it. But yeah, Gian over here actually caught it. So this is just a confirmation that it did hit. So it's all good. I guess I'm not going to take any trades today. So yeah, Gian over here, you can see he marked it up there, no touch. Right here, it blasted right through it, and he locked in 2,180. So I haven't seen the market like this before. So this is like a first time for me where the market's kind of been very off. It's all good. I'm not going to get FOMO. I'm kind of getting FOMO, but it's all good. I'm not going to. It's 7:55 right now. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Looks like we got some profits over here from Barack. Barack, good to see you here back in the chat. Late to the show, but still locking in profits. So Barack's currently up 4,758 for the day. So nice work right there, Barack. Yeah, solid profits. Tris is asking, what indicator do you use for those 4 lines? If you're talking about the 4 lines that are on the chart right now, this is my pivots indicator. So I created this indicator myself. It's not available to the public unless you sign up to the strategy. So if you have access to my strategies and my indicators, you can use it, but it's not a public indicator. So yeah, if you want access to these indicators, just go to the website, kodikaitrades.com, click on K2 trade or Kodi Kai trading strategies right here, and it'll give you access to pretty much all of my my indicators. So you'll get access to the high-low indicator, the pivots indicator, the momentum indicator, the trend meter, the sessions, SRV1, SRV2, volume, etc. All right, let's see. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything for us right here. Nick said your profits are great for the week, buddy. No FOMO. Yeah, no, I agree. 100%. I'm doing pretty good this week. We had 2 back-to-back wins for the liquidity pushes for 300 pips. So I'm up pretty heavily for this week. No need for me to FOMO. It's one of those days where I just gotta take it as is. Andrew over here said he's closing the day out in blue. So total profit of 445 for the day, 530 off that last trade. So nice work right there, Andrew. Another step closer to your verification. Yeah, Essa said he'll call it a day. See you tomorrow. Definitely SLC back here tomorrow. CJ said I was really excited about taking my last trade today before getting funded, but I'll just sit out and wait until tomorrow. Yeah, probably best idea for that, CJ. No need to rush it. These trades are going to come tomorrow. There's a lot of news, so we're probably going to get a lot of volatility. The thing with this here is that it's just going to build up liquidity for tomorrow. So if price continues to just go sideways like this, I mean, the candles right now are not even moving at all. So if price just continues to just go sideways, then we're going to have a lot of liquidity built up for tomorrow. So I think that's a better idea for us to just wait for that. Yeah, exactly, Matt. He's not here anymore. I don't know what happened to the guy. But yeah, if you guys have more profits to post up, feel free to send them in. Otherwise, we just do not have anything for us to take right now. Last question from Martha. She's asking, so are you guys matching up your markups on TradingView to MT4, then following MT4 for entry? Because if I'm doing this correctly, Sean's indicators cannot be accessed on MT4. Not necessarily, Martha. So I think you might be a little confused with like what people are doing. You're correct. You can't move the indicators over to MT4. They're only on TradingView. The only reason people are looking at both of the charts is because the charts are super different for today. So we don't typically match up the markups. We're just looking at this here because what you can do is if you want to match up the markups like what Gian did, and I don't recommend you do it because I feel like that's just doing too much. Like, at this point, I didn't even do it myself, so I missed the trade, which is completely fine. I'd rather miss the trade than do something wrong and then lose a trade, right? So I think what you're doing now, Martha, just stick to that, because I think if you start to try to do what Gian did today, this isn't like an everyday occurrence, right? This typically doesn't happen where you have a liquidity zone marked up right there and then it passes on MT4. Usually it's going to be lined up perfectly. It's just that, everyone's kind of concerned with like what's going on. Like, I showed you guys earlier, this right here. So it's really weird because TradingView right here, this candle dropped past this area right here, but on MT4, it didn't drop past that area. And then the opposite thing happened right now. We had a liquidity area right here and it passed on MT4, but it didn't pass on here, right? So it kind of did the same thing that it happened here, but on MT4. So it just did two of the opposite things at two different time periods. So, we'll just identify today as an outlier. Like there's trades that came up, but we didn't really identify it because the candles were so different. But it's usually not like that. So like right now, the market's kind of moving a little weird in comparison to the two brokers. But once we start a new day tomorrow, it's gonna end up leveling out. So it's not going to be moving all weird like this because we just have like these little candles like where there's like little problems that happen. Like for example, right here, this technically hit liquidity on MT4. And then right here, this dropped on TradingView, but it didn't drop on MT4. So it happens sometimes. It's usually a data issue. But since we're using YM over here, we have the most accurate data. So I would just stick to the TradingView data versus MT4. So all right, I think that's it for now, guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Again, if you guys are new here and you guys want access to the indicators and the strategies, just go to the website, kodikaitrades.com, click on Kodi Kai Trading Strategies right here. If you guys just want access to the Zoom, just keep in mind that the YouTube is delayed. Some of you guys don't notice it, but it's delayed about 30 seconds. So if you guys are trying to copy the trades that we're taking at the same time, you're probably going to miss them unless price continues to push in your direction. So if you guys want access to the Zoom, just click on live trading room right here. If not, if you want to check out the YouTube, just click on this right here. It'll take you to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/KodiKaiTrades. And you guys can rewatch any of my live sessions. I've been trading live for about 5 or 7 years now with you guys here on Zoom and YouTube. And every live session I've traded is available here. So if you guys want to view that, go to the YouTube channel. And then if you guys want access to the free course, just click on unlock your free access right here. And you can get access to it at that point. Price is actually getting close to liquidity, looks like. Yeah, it came pretty close to it. Let's see. Dan said, no trades for me today, but no losses, so all good. I'll see you back here tomorrow. So let's see. One last question over here from Barack. Barack said, quick one, Sean, do you still do 1% risk per position or is it per day? So I risk about 3% per day and I do about 1%, 1.5% per trade. If that makes sense. So I do about 3% max risk a day. Well, I mean, I'll get close to my 5%, but I'll never get to that point because if I lose a trade, I'm usually done for the day. So I risk about like 1.5% per trade and probably like 3% max for the day. Because if you go anything past that, then you'll get too close to your daily loss limit. I'm just kind of curious to see what happens right here when price gets near this liquidity area because price technically hit it already, but I'm kind of curious to see if and when price does get past it right here, if it continues to push up, because it's kind of doing what we were expecting earlier. This price pushes through. Let's see. Hasn't touched it yet. There we go. Because the thing with this is that the liquidity already got hit technically. So I'm curious to see if this continues to push through on TradingView from where it's currently at. All right, I'm just kind of curious because I want to see where this plays out. Because we've been waiting for this pretty much all session. Technically did hit liquidity right there. But it is late. So like usually when I take liquidity, I don't take anything after 8 o'clock. This hit liquidity at like 8:02, so it's a little past 8 o'clock. I don't know if it necessarily is at the point that we would like it to be at. We'll see. And let's see if it goes through. Yeah, it's kind of too late for liquid. I mean, for us to take anything right now anyways, because I don't trade after 8 o'clock. That's why I have the cutoff right here on the clean chart. Typically, once we get past 8 o'clock, the market starts to move kind of funky. Usually moves a little funky between like 8 o'clock to 9, and then it starts to either do the mid-market reversal or it continues to push, in whatever direction that it was going in. So yeah, Maddie said late into the session, no volume. Yeah, the volume here is pretty much dead at the moment, looks like. That's why I usually don't trade after 8 o'clock. So like usually 8 o'clock is my cutoff. You can see right here, the volume is super low. Had a nice push right there when it got to that area of liquidity, and then the volume just pretty much died through or died out. So it looks like it's just going to be a sideways move from now. But all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, it looks like I'm going to wrap this up for the day. So, all right, guys, other than that, I will see you guys back here tomorrow. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. You guys can email me, Sean at Kodi Kai Trades, or you guys can message me on Telegram as well. Tomorrow's Friday, so we'll see where this ends up going. But other than that, I will see you